everyone. How are you?
Hello, doing pretty
Good, good, good. All right. So it is Wednesday. Um, and I am going to go ahead and jump into today's topic. What I want to backtrack, let me let that in. Okay. I want to backtrack and do some things in regards to pricing. So let's make today's conversation all about pricing, pricing for success, pricing for profits. Um, so before I jump in, I'm just watching to see who's coming in. Any questions about anything that we discussed last week? Last week, we spent a lot of time on hiring and onboarding and making sure that we are set up for success as we head into a new tax season and as we head into a new year, really. So any questions, any observations, any stumbling blocks that you guys may have?
Don't forget to send, I'm trying to get my picture on. Don't forget to send Muhammad's information to Tina.
You know what? I'm gonna send you guys an email right now. Um, Muhammad, you know, I think the rest of you all have been intro.
I don't have it either.
You don't? Okay.
Oh.
Okay. It went to all of you guys, or All right. So let's talk about pricing. Well, I was going to say something else. One thing that I want to make sure when you guys are doing hiring, I want for you guys to just put yourself into the CEO's place and just always remember, and I said this before and I'm gonna say it again, hire slow and fire fast. Okay. When you guys are hiring, last week I spent all of last week doing training, new team member training, and I did some training. I'm still in training this week, but just some observations and some things that I've discovered and I'm still observing as the CEO of my organization. I want for you guys to make sure that you identify what your vision is. What is truly your vision for your organization? Make sure that you display that vision, make sure that you can communicate that vision, and make sure that those that are on the same team with you are in the same boat. You guys are not in different boats. Let me turn my email off. You guys are not on different teams. You are all, LA Lakers or the Clippers or whatever team you want to be on, but you're all a team. Think about a football coach who takes a job at a new college. When that football coach takes a job at a college, he and or she, but he for the most part, before he even steps grounds onto that football field, he's up against obstacles. He's up against football players and other coaches, for that matter, who may have some adversity against him. So, in order for that coach to come in and win a championship for the year for the school, he has to get a full buy-in from all of those that are on the team. Otherwise, it's going to be some naysayers, or it's going to be some team members that are not all the way in. They haven't bought in to his vision. They haven't bought into the fact that he wants to win a championship. They played hard the last 2 seasons and they're like, I'm going to take some time off. They have some personal things going on, or there's some conflict somewhere along the way. So when we think about building a team, I need for you guys to, number one, when we think about leadership, when we think about what does it mean to be a CEO, make sure you convey what your vision is. Number two, make sure that everything is in alignment. Alignment is very important. If things are not in alignment, then the team is not going to be successful. So what are some of the things that make the team out of alignment or the organization out of alignment? It could be training, it could be miscommunication, it could be the message is distorted, it could mean that they don't understand. So if those things are happening in an organization, in a team, then there's going to be a breakdown in the team, meaning they're not clearly understanding the full function of what you express to them, what you train them on. So if they're not understanding, there's distortion, then the mission is not going to be carried out, which means the goals will be missed. Okay, because they're not in alignment. Either they didn't understand what you said completely, or they didn't ask the question because they didn't understand, but everything must align properly. And it's your responsibility as the CEO, as the leader of your organization, to identify. We all have been in situations and we know when the morale is down in the department or in an organization, we can sense when something is down. You know, there's no smiles, there's no laughter, there's no joy, there's nothing. So you have to be able to identify those things, and you have to be the one to ask the questions. Always ask questions. You know, there's one person in the department or on the team knows about everybody because that's the go-to spokesperson. Ask that person, okay? But someone on the team will know if there's something that's not right. And then last but not least, you need to be the CEO that is cheering on the team. You need to always reward the team. You need to give them praise. You need to not necessarily reprimand them. And when you reprimand, you never reprimand in front of peers, but you must be that supporter. It's now that you have the team in place, you need to sit back as the CEO and allow the key players of the team to do what they're supposed to. You continue to support them, continue to cheer them on so that ultimately it goes back to your mission and everyone has bought into your mission. So as the coach of a football team, he has to continuously give praise to the football players that are out there. He has to continuously make sure that if someone is injured, he's following up with that person to see how his or her leg is, to see how their head injury is, to see how they're doing with their classes, to find out what's going on at home if something is just not right, okay? So that's the coach's responsibility to make sure that his mission to win to win the championship is still accomplished, but still trying to iron out some of the messes in the middle, okay? So when you're bringing people on, just keep those key things in mind, all right? So I bring that up because I had an issue with one lady, and of course I nipped it in the bud. It's okay, I'm not anyone's friend when you're working for me. Don't get me wrong, we building a relationship, but I hired you to do a job and that's my expectation. We can be friends outside or whatever, but I am serious when it comes to the work. And I pretty much told her that the sales and marketing team is somewhat new and we're building from ground up. She gave me some lead generations and she tossed them over the fence to me and was like, here's the list. So my response is, thank you so much. I appreciate you getting the list. One thing you guys need to learn, and I learned this a long time ago, you have to sandwich your conversation. Thank you so much. I appreciate the hard work that you're doing, and the but is in the middle and I'm about to give it to you. But what the hell are you doing? I'm just kidding. But what do you expect for me to do with this list? And then you come back and you soften it up. I appreciate everything you're doing. Let's look at this another way. If you need some help, whatever, whatever. But in the middle is where you're giving it to them. So in this case, I asked her, well, what is she going to do with the list? Oh, we're going to just give it to the sales team and they're going to do the qualifying. What happened in training? Well, that's for the sales team to do. Well, let me stop you right there in your track. This is a team and we're all working together. Remember in training, I said we don't have lead generators for real estate. So we have to build them up, which means that as a team, we have to work together. Now, either we can work together as a team, or if you feel that that's something that you can't do, we can part ways right now so that I'm not wasting my time and you're not wasting your time. So that's what I said. And I feel like this, they are not employees, they are independent contractors. As an employee, I would have handled it a different way. But if you're an independent contractor, then you're assigned a task. I don't have you coming in, clocking in and out at a certain time. I treat you independent, but I still have a vision, and I still need to make sure that we are in alignment so that we are carrying out the vision. And I'm going to reward you when you do well. But if anything is out of alignment, if we're not in alignment, something's off, then that attitude and whatnot carries on into the entire team, into the football team. And we end up not winning the championship because we had a few key players who had negative attitudes, and it got cancerous amongst the rest of the team, and so on and so forth. Okay. So hopefully I was able to drive home my point. And if you guys are hiring, make sure you wear your CEO hat. Make sure you are always operating in a leadership position, because you are all leaders. Okay. You are the director of the ship. Drive the ship. Okay. So let's talk about pricing. Each and every one of you, make sure nobody was on hold. Each and every one of you have at some point expressed to me what you're currently charging. What I want all of you to know, if you was to go out right now and just Google what is the average price of a tax return, then you would get probably something like $289 or $295 or somewhere below $300. That is a nationwide average. The cost to do business, or even to the cost of living here in California, is different than the cost of living in Idaho, in New Mexico, in Texas, in Chicago. So we're all in different areas, Washington. The cost of living is different. So that means that the cost that we are charging our clients will be a little different as well. But what I want you all to keep in mind is you should make it a point to somehow, some way ensure that you have at least a minimum 60% profit margin on your services. Okay, now that could be very challenging to do during tax season, because we know that we need to stay price competitive, but we don't need to sell ourselves cheap as well. So when we set our prices, if we're going to charge premium prices, we need to ensure that we're giving a premium service. Okay, don't give terrible customer service, but try to charge premium prices. It has to align, back to alignment. It has to fit. So I'm going to show you a worksheet really quickly with profit margin, but I want for you guys to always make sure before you give someone a quote, you make sure that you have calculated what the true profit margin is. Okay, so the magic number is 60%. If you're operating below 60%, then, and that may be kind of high for some of you, but 60 to 80%. And I'm going to show you an example in a moment. And I said 60 to 80. If you're at 80%, you're doing doggone good. Okay, but 60, then that's great. That's good. 80 is great. All right. We want to ensure that before we just say, let's do tax planning, or someone calls us to do some audit work or whatever the case may be, we want to look at how much time is involved in doing the work. How many labor hours will it take for not only yourself, but those that you have on your team to do the work? If you have Jim on the team and Jim's hourly rate is $25 an hour, and it's going to take Jim 5 hours, then we need to take that into consideration. We need to take into consideration your hourly rate. And if you guys don't know what your hourly rate is, you need to figure out an hourly rate. Your hourly rate is not $50, $100, or anything like that. You need to take into consideration I have to see if I have a sheet. I don't have it at my fingertips. I know I don't. But I have a sheet that will help you calculate what your hourly rate is. And is based on, if I recall, is based on if you take what you want to make for the year. So let's say you want to make $500,000 for the year. You take your total working hours. I gotta pull up my sheet. And I gotta pull up my sheet because I don't want to give you guys the number wrong. So hypothetically speaking, when I did it way back when, it came up that my hourly rate was $2.95 an hour. Now, what's gonna gauge or what's gonna change it is how much do you anticipate bringing in for the year? What's your annual revenue? So that's gonna change what your hourly rate is. Right now, believe it or not, I say my hourly rate is $495. Okay. Somebody might be like, $500, you crazy. Maybe you crazy. But that $500 is not just me sitting here. I have overhead. I have all kind of operational expenses that I need to take into consideration. I have a mortgage. I have medical, dental, vision. I have operational expenses that I have to make sure that are covered. So when it's all said and done, I may be down to $200 per hour, but I need to calculate that all of those overhead expenditures into coming up with my hourly rate. So I'm gonna say this, and not to pick on you, Regina, but Regina had an hourly rate for some service she offers, and I just said, okay, whatever, but that's way too low. I would not be charging that because that's like working for kibbles and bits. So I said, you need to be charging, I think I told her $397. So she emailed me the other day or texted me the other day and said, I raised the price. And I said,
You said 497.
well, before, that was the first time. Before I came back and said, you know what, bump that up to 497. They got 497 to pay. You know, that's an administrative fee. Either they gonna pay it or they not. Okay, so we have to stop charging, stop worrying about what the next person, what's in their pocketbook. Just come out of their pocketbook. Don't even worry about what's in their purse because they have it, you guys. If you are working with your ideal client has it. But if you are a minimal thinker, like, I don't know if I should charge like $395, I'm probably gonna lose a client. Then you probably should lose the client because it's not your client, right? So how do you get rid of the clients that refuse to pay? We're in the month of October, the last couple of days of October. How do you get rid of those clients? Do you realize that you can send a letter to those clients right now before the end of the year so that they're not pissed? And so what if they are? Because they're not, so that they're not pissed. And you can kindly say, hi, this letter, we're sending letters out. We've changed the structure of our organization. We are now working with these types of clients. I wanted to notify you in advance so that you have ample time to look for a new tax professional. As a way to assist you, here are 4 individuals that I recommend you reach out to. They are taking new clients. I highly recommend them, so reach out to them. Find somebody find somebody that's new in the industry, maybe, and they're looking for clients. Give them those people. Bye, give them that headache. Let them do it. Okay. So that's how do you get rid of the clients. Ladies. I don't know guys on here. Yeah. Oh, Shannon's in the room waiting. I'm sorry. When you decide that you are going to take control of your business and say, I don't really have to deal with the clients who want to give me a headache. I don't want to have to deal with the clients that consistently not follow suit. Then it's less work for you. I'm going to show you guys. I always document. So I just want to pull up something and show you guys. And when I say document, I truly do mean document your conversations with your clients. And I strategically document certain conversations, you guys. And I just want to pull this up and show you why I did it and the reason how I would, if you guys were in my shoes, I'll turn off emails. Hmm, did I delete my? We got out. Oh, here it comes. So a lot of times, I'm all about CYA, cover my butt, when I send emails and whatnot to my clients. And I think that you guys need to be the same way. Um, as professionals, we need to ask more questions and not just take the face value of what individuals give us. I have a client that has been with me, she probably been with me 10 years, you guys, but she respects me. Her respect for me is like, or lack of respect. Let's put it like that. Let me see. What did I send? Because she does the same thing every year in and year out. So when I finished her return last night in the middle of this morning, all right, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through this email line item by line item. Okay. Can you guys see the email? Okay. So I made it big and bold, important. Please read carefully in its entirety. Marcia and Dwayne, I wanted to address some of the questions that you sent in your emails for your tax return, as it should have been as well as questions given. I don't know what these were, but it was late. So anyway, as well as questions that I needed to ask her. So her retirement, this was 2:42 in the morning. She took a loan out, the retirement, $100,000. And in her initial email to me, she said, oh, by the way, I took $100,000 out of my 401k plan and they didn't do any federal withholdings or state. By the way, I heard there's a program where I can defer. So I said, yes. So retirement. The withdrawal itself is taxable income. Yes, taxpayers may repay all or part of the money within 3 years after the date, blah, 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 blah. So the $100,000 taxes only have been spread over 3 years. So I spread them over 3 years. I told her she can refer to Form 8915-E for the spread so that she can see it. I told her that for tax year 2022, this is the amount that she was responsible for. And I said retirement amount only. She told me she remodeled her house. She sent me a schedule and it said that she remodeled her house and the expenses were $66,000. Hold that thought. She wanted to write off, in her email that she originally sent, she said, I took $100,000 out. I spent it on home remodeling, which was $66,000. So I want to write the $66,000 off on my tax return. She's a home-based business owner. Hold that thought. The remodel of your home and other related expenses are included in the return. However, you are only eligible to deduct the home-related expenses net of blah, blah, blah. So I wanted her to know, and I put it in there on purpose. I put in there, your remodeling expenses. I put it on Form 8829. I put it in there under the indirect column. But if you guys know where I'm going, it really didn't calculate because she had a net loss with her business. Okay. But I put it in the return just so that she can see that I put it in there that she was gonna come back and say, I work from home and I'm eligible to write off the repairs and maintenance. You eligible, but you had a business loss. So you're not really gonna be able to write all this off. Okay. She also had gave me her car, her husband's car. She gave me insurance, $4,800. She gave me charitable contributions of $3,500. And this all has to do with pricing, so bear with me, of $3,500. And so I asked for the backup for the $3,500. Every single year, she sends me an amount that says she wants to write it off for charitable contributions. I put in here, I am awaiting the charitable information so that I can input the details into the return. The amount will not change, but I need the correct information to put it in form, the correct form. She put $3,500. You donated $3,500 last year, $4,500 the year before. I need to know what did you donate? So then she had gambling losses, she had Bitcoin, she had all of that. She had a whole bunch of stuff. But here's where I want to get to, all this garbage down here. While processing your 2019 return, I mentioned I have a problem with your expenses. Everything is in round numbers, which tells me that they are not actuals. Please ensure you have records to support your return since these are not reflective of actuals. I notice your 2020 expenses have round numbers again. I can't begin to emphasize the importance of ensuring you are using actual numbers. If your file is audited, you would become responsible for providing accurate support to justify the total in the return. Lastly, your business, you see how I highlighted this in italics? Your businesses have continuously carried a loss year over year. You are at risk for an IRS audit. If this occurs, you could face disallowance of your business expenditures for current years and potentially the last 2 years. If a business reports a net loss in more than 2 of the 5 years, it's presumed a not for blah, blah, blah hobby. I said, please save this document and place it in your 2020 file so that you can refer back to it giving you whatever, for all the moving parts. And I said, please reply to this so that I can finalize your adjustment. Marcia think I'm playing. So I don't remember which one of you guys, it may have been Tina. I don't remember who asked me would I provide audit protection. I would not extend audit protection to this client. You know why? Because I just told her right here, you are at risk of an audit. Why do I want to have her pay the audit protection plan knowing that there's a risk? And if she comes back to me and I have her pay $199 for audit protection plan, I know I'm going to spend more hours helping her get out of trouble with the Internal Revenue Service. But I've told her year over year about all of this stuff. So what I do know, because I'm studying for the EA, I'm documenting this, and I'm asking and I'm documenting. She put her child on there. I specifically sent another email about her child and asked all the pertinent questions. Does she live with you? This. Please provide proof. That's up there in one of them. Please provide appropriate backup for her daughter. But I need for you guys to make sure that you're asking the questions. So the reason why I thought of this was because when I priced her, I sent her an invoice last week. No, I sent her an invoice this week. Thank God she hadn't looked at it because I can see when they look at their invoices. But I had to go in and delete the invoice because once I took a deeper dive into this return, I realized you shortchanged yourself. You did not charge her accordingly. So I went back in, I deleted that bad sucker, and I sent it to her again. So I'll show you the invoice.
Do you invoice before or after you complete the return, or like half and half?
No, what I do is, why is it just coming out? Oh, here it is. What I do is, I invoice as soon as typically when I get the information. Like when you send your return, I'm gonna invoice you. But in this particular case, um, I didn't. But this is everything that I did. Can you guys see the screen? He had a schedule A, B, C, D, 2 schedule Cs, W-2s, some W-2Gs, some, the 1099 NECs, some 1099Rs. She had a whole bunch of stuff. Depreciation, 8829, she wanted to defer her 401k that she withdrew, so this form 8915. She has some sales of stock. She had all kind of stuff in this return. And then her California return. So when I did first of all, when I went to price, I looked at what I charged her last year. And then I looked and I said, well, she sent over more stuff this year, so I'm gonna raise the price. So I raised the price to $11.49. But when I got done, because my prices are in the system, my prices told me, my invoice told me that I was charging her too low. So that's what it came up to. Okay, $13.99. So I went into the system and deleted the invoice and re-invoiced her. Now, I know my client. She's gonna come back and say, $13.99, does that include audit protection for both me and Dwayne? And I'm gonna say, unfortunately, Marcia, I can't charge you for audit protection this year. Your file is actually one in which I would say it's at risk for an audit. I put it in writing too, because I was CYA covering my butt. But I put it in writing and I purposely told her, save this for the future reference, because you're gonna have to come back to it. She has carried a loss year over year. I told her the same thing last year because I went back to last year and pulled up last year's emails. So you guys see why it's important. Save this kind of stuff. Take that and put it in a storage so that you can go back and retrieve these old emails. Don't keep it on the hard drive in case it crashes or something, but back up your system so you have something to go pull. So you guys see why, number one, I keep saying don't be texting. Number two, make sure you communicate so that they can come back and say whatever they want to try to come back and say. I told you guys about the girl who did the credit card. I'm sitting yesterday, I get the credit card back. She want to go to arbitration. I'm like, let's go for it. I'm ready for you because I got all the backup to support. I called the bank and I was like, what's my chances of winning? They said, you're going to win. You have all the backup to support. You just have people that will fight all the way thinking that you will probably drop the ball somewhere. I'm like, well, let's go for it, because I provided the services. So make sure, let me get out of this sheet and go into the cheat sheet for you guys. Okay, let's go into pricing for profit.
Dr. Cosette, I wanted to say, and on to what you were saying for pricing, what we do is we price per form. And of course, there's administrative costs. So we price out like you do per form. If someone's new, and so when they come new, sometimes we don't always know if they owe the IRS. And a lot of my clients will use the refund transfer where they don't have to pay up front. But if they owe, and they're not my clients, first time, a couple of things. They either have to pay me half when I start, they'll pay me the other half before I give numbers. I give no numbers out until I get paid and I send them an invoice, normally. So, and that's not all, because most of my clients, they do the refund transfer. They get it taken out of their check, a lot of them, except my business clients or clients who normally owe, they already got the check ready.
Right. So let me show you how to overcome that obstacle. When you have those new clients, I know it's just a technique. It's pretty much, so I ask them these questions because I know my ultimate goal is how did you do on last year's return? Because I'm trying to figure out if they got a refund or if they owe. And then I'm like, okay, so did you get a refund or did you owe? What's the situation? And then I don't even go there anymore. I go to, do you have any back child support? Do you have any student loans? I go there. I'm not even on the refund because I know if they have back child support or student loans or anything like that, I
Gonna be
know
taken.
right now where I need to direct the conversation. I'm not gonna even talk about bank products. They may say, well, can I have it out? And I'm gonna say, well, you just told me that you have back child support, so I can't do that. So I ask those questions knowing where I'm leading to, so that if they come back and say, well, can I take this out of my account? And listen, guys, ladies, they know already that they can't take the money out of their account. So I
Right.
need you guys to also understand this. They may have already went to Tina's office and Tina already told them. So then they're gonna come to my office knowing the game already,
Yep.
knowing the game, and try to see if they could get through on me. If I'm not up on my game, I may slip through the cracks, transmit that return, and guess what? I'm not gonna get paid. Or I'm gonna have to put them on bad debt and be calling them every single week, every single month to get paid. Now, Santa Barbara Bank and Trust or taxpayer, whatever, TPG, I call them Santa Barbara Bank and Trust because I've been with them for forever. But they have a new system where they will do the collections for you. But why you want to be chasing money? You provided a service, right? So Tina is right, but I know that they play games. They can go to Tina, they can go to me, and if they go to a vet fall, then a vet, it's on a vet. But they know the system. They even know first. I don't remember who asked me about bank products, about how you can set up, start offering bank products or the loans in the month of December, early January. There's a fee, ladies. If you want to take advantage of that, that's fine. But I personally, it's not something that I choose to offer as a service to my clients, because if they have bad credit or if they have any outstanding debt with the Internal Revenue Service or anything negative, they're not going to get approved, and you are going to end up paying the application fee for processing that cash advance or rapid refund or whatever they call it, cash advance for the client. So again, they may go to Tina, knowing Tina, they already got denied by Tina. They may come to me and ask me what bank do I use and attempt to go through me. And then if I still get them denied, they may go to a vet and attempt again. But Tina's out because she didn't, charge them up front. I'm out because I didn't charge them up front, and now they're trying to get a vet.
I was
So-
gonna say also, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Scam artists are scam artists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so we asked for 2019, and just because they have a refund doesn't mean they got it. And you're right. Sometimes they have student loans. So I'll say, did you get a refund check, a physical check? And it gets quiet. So the minute it gets quiet, and then so you try and dig, like you said, you'll dig and ask for got student loans, things like that. If they filed 2019, most likely they'll tell you. But if they haven't filed 19, you can forget it. You got to pay me up front. If I don't see the 2019, if you've not filed, you're paying me up front before we start anything, and I do either the Square. I even have it set. I don't know if y'all have this. I have ACH set up with my bank. So if I have an account and a routing number, I can take money out of somebody's account at any given time. I have that
Right.
set up with my bank. But I'm
Right.
just saying, so, but at the end of the day, some of these, you're right, they're slick. They think they're gonna come in, have you do their return and they owe, or they know they don't get money. Well, they know that they went somewhere else and they didn't even pay or whatever. So I try and get the backstory, but people lie. You never know. So, you're new, most likely you're paying me up front. Then next year we'll know if you got a refund. We'll know, how things are the next year. But the first year, you're suspect. So you're gonna have to pay.
And not only that, they could have taken their tax return to Tina, and Tina didn't collect up front. And
Okay.
Tina could have did the return, and they don't like the outcome of what Tina did. So they're like over her office, blowing it up, cussing her out and
Mhm.
stuff. Give me back my documents. And Tina's like, no, there's a fee. I'm like, I don't release anything. And I had somebody tell me that I was holding their tax documents hostage. Oh, well, you're going to pay me because I did this work. But they're in Tina's
technically,
office
you
complaining.
can't hold their paperwork.
Right, I was
Can't
just
hold
gonna say, had to give it back, so then they came to me, Tina done got burnt, took that 2 hours, an hour, did that return. Now they gonna come to me and see if Tina got them back 2,000, but that wasn't enough. They friend
Right.
told them they could give back 4,000. So they're gonna come to me and try to play the game. And if I get them like 39, that's still not sufficient. They may still go to a vet. Or if I get them like, it's just not gonna be sufficient. They
What I
play
put in, yeah, what I put in my engagement letter is that whether you're happy with the return or not, you are still due to pay your invoice. And most clients don't know that you can't hold their documents like that. That's knowledge that we have. They don't know that. So I was like, well, you
Right.
still have to pay whether you're happy or not. I put in the work, I put in the time, and this is your invoice.
it's the exceptional clients that know, the ones that play the game every year. So my advice, have everyone pay up front. Once you've built a relationship with your clients,
Mhm.
you know. And don't get me wrong, there are clients that even though you built up a relationship, they may be going through a stormy moment and things could happen, you know. I've had a few write bounce checks. I collect. It may take a minute, but I collect. But you guys, I just stick to credit card or cash and we good. I very, very, very seldom, this last year was the least amount of RTs that I sent through the bank. I just did not want to deal with it. But my problem with that for all of you was tax returns were delayed. So that meant my paycheck was delayed. So I did away with RTs. I did away with RTs. I don't know, were you delayed a lot, Tina?
You know what? Half and half. I got half of mine and the other, like little under half were delayed. So, and we were okay. We factored that in. But I had a lot of paying clients too. A lot of new, with all this PPP money and all that, we had a lot of clients that had a lot of money. They had to do
Right,
Schedule C's of business. They already had cash on hand. So that
right.
compensated for the ones we had to wait for.
Yeah, but
That
you might
helped.
want to you might want to rethink that budget this year because they got rid of their money.
Right, right. Well, we knew this was like a one-time influx, but hopefully there won't be any IRS problems with delays this time. Because I have a lot of clients that get the refund transfers. Probably 85 of my percent of my clients get that, and I never have a problem. I might have three that didn't go through or whatever. The rest always come through. I get paid normally.
So for
So
those of you that are foreign and you're like, what's RT? I don't even know what they're talking about. That is called refund transfer. And what happens with the did you know what that was, Ann? Oh, okay, Regina? Stephanie, did you know
I
what
thought it
RT
was
was?
rapid refund.
Okay,
mm-mm.
so refund transfer is when your client says, can I have the fees deducted from my account? The reason why the refund is transferred is because the IRS will approve the refund amount. The refund amount goes to the transmitter, the bank. The bank is the middle person. The bank is going to transmit or transfer the refunds to the taxpayer and the tax preparer. They're sending the tax prep fees to the preparer and they're sending the balance to the taxpayer. Now, when you all do rapid transfers or refund transfers, you do realize that there's a maximum amount that you can take out of a client's return. If the
Mhm.
client is getting back 4,000, don't think, and that's your mother and your mother owed you 4,000. You're like, I'm gonna keep all this money because she owed me. You can't do it, okay?
Oh,
You can't do it, okay? There's a certain threshold, and I want to say it's $1,200. I may be wrong, but when you sign up for bank products, which you should be over the next month or so, at least the next 6 weeks, start thinking about so that in December you're ready, you've taken the test, you've ran the test and everything. But there's a limit to what you can pull out of the account. All right.
And
So
I think that goes with your niche too, depending on what your niche is, if your particular niche is likely to use bank products or not.
right. That is true.
yeah, but again, I have it available. You just never know. You just have it available and make sure it's set up correctly. Um, there's, and I hate bank products. There's fees that are involved with it. There's transmission fees, different fees. Know the lingo, know the language so that you know what you're getting involved in and you know what your ultimate net profit is on the transfer, okay? Who's paying for what? Are you paying for it? Is the client paying for it? Know the ins and outs, all right? And just read the documentation when you sign up with the bank, all right? So let me show you guys this cheat sheet that I have here, number one. Okay, so I just put in a price here, $2,000. I don't know what service this is. Let's just say it's tax planning. So if tax planning is $2,000, but these are my overhead expenditures. $100 for whatever, and then I think I did this at $295. Yeah, $295 at 2 hours. So it's gonna take me 2 hours to review, get this done or whatever. I said that I wanted to have a net profit of 65% or 60% or higher. If I leave this at 2,000, let me get rid of this. Let me move it for now. My okay, my profit.
Quick question. Are you going to share this sheet with us or should we take notes?
I'll send it as soon as
Okay.
as soon as I finish in it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, as you can see, my profit on this is $1,300. How did I come up to this 103? I can't talk. 1,310 because I have some overhead expenditures. This is the total of the overhead expenditures. I'm charging the client 2,000. So my true profit is this. Yes, this is a number that's made up, but still, even if I had labor and I had staff and I had them do this work, if it was, you know, $400, then I have a higher profit. So if I take myself out of the equation because I'm at a higher ticket price and maybe add someone else in here, then I have a higher profit margin. If I lower this, which I will not, then that means that I'm still at where I said 60% or higher, but my profit is only $1,000. So I want to do something else for you guys and just go with me for a second. So this is like no joke, no joke, no joke. And I just threw this number in here. Let's just say that's approximately what I made on just in taxes. I don't know, just threw out a number. So no, this is really, really no joke. The labor just for my tax person was less than $3,000. So if you think about my profit margins, that was truly my profit margin. So the guy who works for me, I didn't pay him more than $3,000. I probably have not paid him more than $3,000 for the year, you guys, if I'll go and do his year-to-date totals, maybe a little more. I gave him a bonus, so maybe 4,000. So even if I put in 4,000, that's my profit margin just for taxes. So can you guys not afford to hire somebody?
Absolutely. Do you have one person doing all your tax returns or you have multiple people?
No, it's just he and I.
Okay.
And to be honest, he did practically all the personal returns. I did the business returns.
And
So-
he have a P10 or he uses your P10 and you just verify everything?
He uses my P10, but this, in our downtime, that was his task to get a bonus to get his P10. So he got his P10, so next year he'll be using his own P10.
Okay.
Is this a guy from the Philippines?
Yeah,
Virtual?
yeah, he is virtual. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
But I didn't share his information with y'all.
You're getting a good deal because anyway, that's a good deal.
His
I
rate of
know.
pay,
You pay that a year, I almost pay that a month. I'm
That's
sitting
his
over
rate of
here. Huh?
that's his rate of pay right there
For a year?
per hour. And he's a CPA. So, um, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. So, and he's fast and he's accurate. So, and he has access to the CRM. We're both administrators right now. At first I was the full, admin where I had full rights, but I trust him. So I gave him full rights to go in and pull. Otherwise, he was waiting on me to get the returns and all the information. He can email the clients and, request any information. So when we do assign, who's doing the return, they know who's doing the return. And so this was the first year that I used him. And so everyone was like, who's Kirby? So, now they know. But I will say this, even though they knew someone else was doing their return, I don't care what you guys, how you put it, they still came back to me. Cosette, your guy asked for this, your guy asked for that, you don't normally ask for that. Well, he's new, he's gonna be more detailed than I am. I know you, we built a relationship. So he's doing his due diligence. So, and that's when we're CEO and we're the face of the business, that is what happens. No matter who you bring in, they're gonna always ask for you because you're the face of your business.
Does it help if Kirby CCs you on any email communication? Do they still come back and ask you like, why is he asking for this? Or
Those,
question?
it's when it's usually people who like have been with me for forever, a vet, or people who are just like my friends, like, because why he asking me for this? Just give it to him.
Okay,
It's you know how you have those friends
yeah.
that doing their taxes and they gonna come to you no matter what,
Mhm.
or text you. Cosette, who's Kirby? He asked for this. You don't normally ask for this. I want you to do my taxes because you know me intimately. You don't want me to grow then. You don't want me to grow. So, yeah, but I will say this, being very transparent. On the onset of things, I did send an email to all of my clients, and I'm very transparent. I would use words such as we, or the team, or someone from the staff. And there were a few people who were, resentful, and there were a few people that left me as a result. And I was okay with it because that comes with growth, that some are going to leave you. And so I thought about it. First, I was upset, but I said, how am I going to grow if I'm doing all of this? So the ones that left because of that, I was okay with it. And one of them said to me, I thought you were doing everything in here. I trusted you with all my information. And so I had to say, well, I do check my people out. I just don't have anyone looking at your documents. I'm very cautious of that. I know that the liability is on me.
It's so funny you say that. 15 years ago, when I was
What
one
is
woman.
that? Oh my gosh, is that a Terry Yorkster? A Yorkster, what is it called?
Yorkshire.
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 You just got a haircut. Shut up, Regina.
You said a Terry Yorkster.
He's so
You know
spoiled.
what I meant.
He's so spoiled. I'm just trying to sit here and be in class, and he just loves to be on your lap in the mix.
Cosette,
Yeah.
I was saying that, pointing out what you were saying 15 years ago, we all start off like a one-man show. Then the minute you go and you like hire staff, get other people. So my office is set up where my assistants, they do all the intake, they collect all the data, social security cards, all of that. When I transitioned from just me to staff, my clients were like, are you still doing the tab? Are you still looking at it? Are you still, what are these people doing? I'm like, look, I can't do everything. You want me to be able to review and make sure your stuff done's right. They're doing the admin tasks that I don't need to be doing. They're doing the intake, making copies, making phone calls, things like that. You don't want me doing that. You want me to focus on making sure your taxes are right, right? And right? They're like, yeah. And I got to go to school. I have updates. I got all this other stuff. I can't do all this. And so, but at the end, I tell them I'm the one that my eyes are the final set of eyes that will look at your tax return. I don't have to key in the data, but I will make sure that things all line up and they're checked. 3 sets of eyes see this tax return before it comes to me. Then they're like, oh, okay, but I will see it. But yes, they get very shaky when you have other people helping you in the beginning and they're not used to that. When they're used to just you only, it takes them a minute. But after a while, it's a seamless process. Here's the thing, you can't leverage yourself if you do it all. There's no way you'll leverage yourself. So you have to get help. And you should not be doing $8, $10, 12 hour an hour task when you over here making 200, 300, and sometimes I've made 5, 6, 700 in an hour. Okay, if I'm focused on just that and get
Yep.
rid of the other stuff, I'll pay you 12 for that hour, but then I'm gonna make 400.
Yep.
So do the math. It makes all the sense in the world. And once you realize that, and you've got to prep your clients, look, this is how this is going to happen. You're going to see Maria first. She's going to gather your information. She's going to give everything to me once it's entered, and then they're fine.
Right.
And
It's building that confidence and building that trust, because after all, it is their confidential information. So you
It
need
is.
to reassure them that everything is secured when they come into the office. If they come in, you have to assure them that everything is locked up. They don't see a
Yep.
lot of paperwork on the desk. They
Yep.
can't even see, some people like to look at your screen while you're working, but you have to make sure that if you have a brick and mortar, you turn documents down. They don't see that. They see things locked up, so they feel safe, secure, that their information is okay in your hands. Okay,
Yeah.
because I tell you one thing, if there was any type of fraud information coming up, they're gonna look at you like, I just got a call, or I just got a letter, my social security number has been tampered with. Do you guys? So, they just don't allow them to do it. Just do what you know this
Oh, and
way.
I was gonna say too, real quick, when they say things like, how are you guys protecting our data? Well, we all have to have a cybersecurity plan. So I'll tell them, I go every year when we do our updates, IRS forums, they go over cybersecurity. We all have to have a plan in place. Okay. And I said, and the other thing is, at the end of the day, anything could happen to anybody. Anything could be breached. Before you come to me, go talk to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, where they breached your information, what, a year ago? Go have a conversation with them. You worried about me, you need to be worried about your credit report that everybody doesn't see. But anyway, yeah, you have to reassure your customers that you are protecting their data. You've secured firewalls, whatever you need to do to make them feel like, you know what, they're practicing safety and they're protecting my data. And when they feel that way, they're good. But you have to let them know, paper turned over, you'll never come to my desk and see anybody else's file out, folders turned over, TAF already knows. You got nosy people that want to look at things on your dash, your screen. So you just have to make sure you have all those processes in place so your employees know, and also when you're on the phone, you're not just talking to anybody. You got to come to the office, or secure email with ID. We're not just going to talk to anybody over the phone. We don't give personal data over the phone, confidential
No,
information.
no,
Those are all
none of that.
things that's a no-no.
No, but also, Tina, and to the rest of you, you want to put the privacy policy in the engagement letter. I listed
Yes.
in there so that they know. And again, they are supposed to read through it. So whether they do or not, at least they have a copy of it. If they want to go back later and dispute or question something, they have that letter. Okay. So I'm going to send this cheat sheet to you guys. I'm also going to send to you guys pricing tonight. So you're going to get 2 sheets from me. The pricing sheet is going to have 3 tabs. It'll have accounting services. It'll have tax prep fees, and it'll have your IRS fee or tax resolution. I'm also, excuse me, I said I'm going to send 2. I'm going to send 3 because I've acquired a 3rd sheet for tax resolution, in which you can put in, it's kind of like an a la carte. You put in the service that you're providing them and it spits out the price. A lot of times for tax resolution, you may feel like you are charging too much, but you guys, the money is in tax resolution. So that'll help you calculate. And I interviewed a young lady. I interviewed her last week, and she said this, and I didn't even think about this, but when you send in tax documentation for tax resolution, when you fill in the application, it really states on there that you need to be an enrolled agent, a CPA, a tax attorney, to represent the client. She said something which it was an eye opener. And again, I haven't really had any problems with tax resolution except this last one that I won, but that was because the case amount was so much. But she stated you can list on there that you are Cosette White, the cousin, and I'll still be able to call in on behalf of Tina and represent Tina and not get the kickback that I would if I just put I was a tax preparer. And I was like, does that get it? Yeah, I'll let you guys, I'll give you discreetly. Yeah, I don't want to put it out on social media. I don't think I am. But I was going to send it to my people on my list. But I'll send you guys a copy of the recording. And yeah, she teaches tax resolution. She's not a tax expert. But her career worked as a specialist or a clerk for a tax resolution firm, and she said she learned the ropes, and now that's what she does. That's how she makes her living. So, and now she has a class where she teaches tax professionals and EAs how to represent clients before the Internal Revenue Service. So anyway, interesting. So when we talk about our pricing, I need for you guys to make sure you keep this little cheat sheet handy so that you can plop it. You know, what are you charging? What are your overhead expenditures? What's your true profit? And is it where you want it to be? A return is going to be a little different. Let's just say my hourly rate for tax season may be $295. So it's not going to always work right for taxes, because that would mean I would have to charge them $600, $750 just to break even. That's not going to make sense, right? To a person that just has a W-2. They're going to go down the street to H&R Block. So this process will not work for tax preparation fee, this profit sheet, but it will work if you have someone that just calls you out of the blue and you're stuck like, I don't even know how much to charge them. Well, let's revert back to the sheet. And if I'm trying to make at least 60%, then I need to charge, you know, $2,000, which was the first scenario. I don't know, whatever, that's still high. But anyway, you guys get my point. We're gonna go right back here. Okay. And we know that this was his hourly rate. That's his hourly rate. So he's been with me for a year now. So technically I need to give him a raise. I did give him a bonus. And he's still with me. He's been with me all year long. So he's been helping me with the payroll. And he also helps with any tax returns that have come in as a result of extensions or whatnot. As a matter of fact, he's working on a tax return right now while we are in class. So it's all a good thing. And because I don't keep him on at 40 hours a week, and let's just do the math. Oh, I'm blind.
He ain't got no brother. Let me stop.
He
Does he-
referred a few friends. So, I mean, technically, if he worked 40 hours a week, that's what I would be paying him. You do that times 4 weeks. Oops, I did that wrong. That's
Almost
still
nine,
$1,000. You do 1,000 times 12, that's $1,200 or $12,000 for the year. Yeah. So I'm still ahead of the game, either, no matter how I look at it. He doesn't work 40 hours a week though. He doesn't even work like 10 hours a week. So, but that's 10 hours a week, you guys. So what I do,
Did you give him a 1099 at the end of the year, Cosette?
I don't give him a 1099 because he's in another country, but there is a certain form that we are supposed to have them file. But I'm just gonna be very transparent. I haven't complied. There is another tax form that we're supposed to give those in other countries. I forget the name of it. I had wrote it down one day, but I don't comply.
Well, they don't know. I mean, they can't trace anything.
Well, I just write it off as an expense.
Right. I was
I
gonna
have
say,
the paperwork to support it. And I always have them sign documentation that they're independent contractors. So they're not an employee, because I don't want the IRS to come back and say, why didn't I pay employer-related taxes? So, yeah. So, what I need for you ladies to do is when you get the price sheets, play around with them. I'm gonna update them before I send them to you. Feel free to change them. Feel free to change based on your comfort level. You may find that once you put in all the prices a la carte, you'll be like $8.95. She only used to paying $2.50. I can't tell her that. You adjust accordingly. You gotta go and operate your organization the way that you see fit. Okay, I'm only providing suggestions and recommendations. Nothing is cut in stone or absolute have to be like that. If you are looking to increase your rates, you can send a letter out to the clients, letting them know that rates will increase over 5%, 10% when they come back this year. Or you can just let them know when they are sitting down. Okay, how do you overcome rate increases? You are presenting the final documentation, the final tax return to Mr. Smith. Hi, Mr. Smith. And I do have this in a letter format because I've had to use it several times. Hi, Mr. Smith. Just want to review your tax return. So when you get with Mr. Smith, you're going to go over all the savings first. You're going over every single amount that he saved. I was able to save you $1,000 for the child tax credit. We were also able to save you $2,000 for whatever rebate. You carried your parents on here. You got this credit. We also had whatever. Here's the amount that I was able to save you. I was able to save you $7,500. So with that being said, your refund, Mr. Smith, is $2,850. Remember, we saved you the $7,000 whatever your tax preparation fee is. If you say it like that, the tax preparation fee was the very last thing you said. You told him about all of his savings. You told him what he was getting back, and then you told him what that fee was. You didn't come off and say, the fee for me doing this is $980. For him to say, what? And throw the whole conversation off. Where you come up with that? How you do? No, start with psychology. So, Mr. Smith, I just want to go over this. I got some good news for you. I was able to save you a lot of money, and I'm going to go over all of the savings. We were able to bam, 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 bam. So that right there knocked off, $7,500. Had we not added these credits or refunds, then you would have been paying taxes on this $7,500. So I was able to, work my magic and get you back $2,070. Oh, really? Yes. As a result, your fee for the tax preparation fees this year is. He may come back with some objections. Why so much? Well, we're the best in the industry. That's all you gotta say. We're the best in the industry. Regina probably about to laugh what I'm about to tell you guys, because this girl reached it. Two women, I had 2 discovery calls today. And I was talking about the program with one of them. And so she said, well, do you show us how to get on TV? And I'm like, they don't have nothing to do with this program, right? She said, do you show us how to get on TV in this program? And I said, no, but I do have a program where I can show you how to get on television. So then that was that call. So another call, I called a young lady and I was trying to establish a rapport to partner with her in Florida. And so I listened. And so she said, well, usually before I partner with people, I have to check them out, or I ask them to do a service for me so that I can see what type of person they are. But what I'll do, before we seal the deal, I'll just kind of follow you on social media and, you pretty much it was like check out the temperature, check you out. So I said this, if you want to check me out, just Google my name. You're going to find me all on social media. You're going to find me on just Google. I'm all over. You can ask anybody about me. So I went here. I said, plus I'm featured on Fox Television. So why would I be a scam artist? I just had to go there because I'm like, you gonna try to come at me like you want to check me out, see who I am. And then she said this, and she came back and she softened herself up. She said, well, at least you had a comeback. I usually throw that out at people and they get stumbled and they don't know what to say next. I said, no, I'm very confident in myself. I'm not cocky, but I'm confident in myself. I said, I've been in the industry for a while. I said, at this point in my journey, it's not about me always wondering what's in it for me. I'm at a point in my career where it's like reach back, grab the next person and pull them forward. There's only so many opportunities that I can take advantage of. So why do I need to be selfish? I'm at a point in my life where it's like, show the next person, show the generation, the millennials, what they can do, what's available to them. So she really softened herself up after that, but I was like, girl, please. Just like, don't do it. So yeah, make sure you guys, I don't know, how did we get on this? But just make sure you price yourself right. Don't underprice. When they question about why your prices are high, because I'm the best in the community. I'm the best expert, and my prices are priced accordingly. They're competitive nationwide with our key competitors, H&R Block, Hewlett, Jackson, or however that is. They're competitive. So my prices are right where everybody else is. But if you guys start out with 210, 215, it's going to be hard to convert. And those are the clients that you shouldn't mind losing for acquiring new ones and being able to bring those new clients in at your new rates. You guys can also keep your rates the same for those that you have, and any new people, they come in at the new rate. These individuals down here are grandfathered in. So if Tom tells Joe to come to you and Joe is like, well, how come Tom is paying this amount? Tom had no reason opening his mouth, but if he does, just say, oh, no, Tom is grandfathered in at our old rates. Well, do you think you could give me that? Well, no, those are our old rates, and we're very, our policy states that we are to abide by this. I wish I really could, but we whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he came to us a long time ago and he's grandfathered in. Yes, he has some great rates, but it's just like at the bank, you get grandfathered in at the old rate when they buy, when they do a merger or a sell to another bank and the new bank charges new fees, et cetera. You're grandfathered in at the older rates, right? So it's the same concept. Just use that same line. He's grandfathered in.
That's what we say. We say the exact same thing. They've already been here. Plus, when people come in, a lot of times, I don't know if you had this, Dr. Cosette, but years ago, my worst clients were African-American clients. They never wanted to pay full price. And I would say,
I don't know how many times.
I said, you go to Jewel, you go to Walmart, you don't argue at the register or whatever. I've got overhead, a professional atmosphere. I've got computer state of the art. You're not cold. You're not wet. You're in a professional office that, by the way, looks pretty good to me. And they're like, yeah, you're right. But it was the hardest thing for years. I don't get that anymore because I have a reputation in the community. But when I was younger, it would be like, oh man, my cousin, Pookie and Ray Ray and them, they could get it they can do it for $25. Well, you go to Pookie, Ray Ray and them, and you have them do it. And guess what? Your data is getting shared. You don't know, your stuff's not being private. You don't know who's looking over, Pookie's shoulder and all that. You get what you pay for. You come here, I gotta go to school. I gotta get updates.
I don't argue with them anymore. I just say, all right,
not anymore. This was years ago. I don't get that anymore or whatever. And then I have to turn around my wall. I got 3 degrees and a master's. And I go, look, you think all this just came for free? I'm still paying student loans on some of these degrees. Don't even start with me, and we got to do updates, continuing education credits. Our industry is a never stop. We're a student of the game. We
Right.
will never not be a student of the game. And I have to explain. But once I explain it to people, they're like, all right, you right, you good. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
But
But I don't like to go there.
it is our people. It is our people. I can't speak for you all. I know, the vast majority, well, I can't say the vast majority. I probably have maybe 30% that's Hispanic, and I don't have no problems out of them. I don't have any problems. They pay, they keep their appointments, they don't send all their stuff late, they don't come with all this shenanigan stuff, and they don't write checks either, because they are pretty much cash and carry type of people.
Yep.
So,
Or their debit card.
or their debit card, exactly. Mhm.
They don't never
Right.
want, they say no problem, no problem. They don't want no problems.
No, they don't.
They don't. They be like, no problem, no problem. And across the board, Hispanic business, they don't be playing. You say what it is, that's what it is. No, me don't want no problem. Okay.
Right. So, you gotta pick and choose, but then again, we still have to support ours in all
Yeah.
honesty. But we just know that we have to treat and handle them a little differently. And if you know how to play the game going in, then you won't lose.
And the other thing, and with offer and compromise, that is really good money, because we have a guy. I know you know Teddy the tax man.
I know
Teddy.
of him. I know of him. I don't, and I know you mentioned him before, but I don't really know him.
Well, he does all of our OICs, offer and compromises. And I'm telling you, and I'm studying right now for my EA also, but the money that they make doing OIC, it's ridiculous. It really is. And it's not that difficult to do. It's a little time consuming, but the money you make far outweighs a tax return, even a corporate return, But I was getting at when you, so a lot of my African American clients, you know how they got to me? They didn't come to me until they had an issue or a problem. Then they would come to me, and then they would say, well, such and such said you helped such and such, but you couldn't come to me when your stuff was straight. But that's okay, because I'm gonna charge you premium to fix and clean up your stuff.
Oh yeah. That's when you give it to them, you guys.
Oh, yeah. No discounts, no nothing. And I go, you know what? It's gonna cost XYZ, and that's it. And if you want my help, that's how it's gonna go. Okay. But and then once I get them, oh, I should have been coming to you for years. I would have never gotten this mess in the first place. That was your fault. But that's how I got a lot of my.
That's why it's very important to stand your grounds and state what you're worth, because they will know by the time they come back, oh, I gotta go over there to Tina. Tina, hi. Well, she gonna get you right. So
That's right.
stand your grounds, and that way word on the street is not, yeah, you pay all that and you still get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm gonna send the price sheet. I want you guys to really evaluate your business, your pricing. I want to be honest with you. When you change your prices, you are going to lose some clients. I'm not going to lie. You are going to lose some clients. But in the long run, when you look back 1 year from now, you have to look at those that you gained. And I guarantee you will come out right where you expected. If you say, I want to do 500,000 and you lose some clients, you're still going to, you know why? Because you're going to gain more and you're going to be able to offer them at a higher premium. You may not, you may lose 10. You're not going to get back 10. You may get back 5. But your prices have raised, you've raised your prices and you don't have that volume. And that's where we get stressed, etc., ready to pull our hair out because we're dealing in volume to get to larger revenue numbers. So raise your prices, add services. And I've given, well, all of you haven't sat with me on your kickoff, but I say this time and time again, 10 clients at 5,500 or 5,000. Here's your math. Take that times 12. Do taxes if you want, or do them. You're close to $1 million. Find some other services to offer, and you right at $1 million. Sounds difficult, but the numbers don't lie.
Yep.
Numbers don't lie. We all play with them on this Zoom. So, with that being said, did we lose any? We lost Stephanie. I'm going to conclude tonight's call. You guys will get the recording. I do have an administrative assistant, so this is her task to log on the very next day and send all the return of the files to you ladies, along with any supporting document. I'm going to send the worksheets because they're on my hard drive right here, but we'll send out, because we actually train in a few minutes for an hour on this, how to render. So, all right, you guys have a beautiful week, and make sure you all take some time to increase your prices. Tax software will be coming out next month, the end of the month, and then December. You guys need to input all of your pricing into the system, okay? And remember, it's a lot of returns that you don't, I mean, it's a lot of forms that you don't necessarily touch. So try to assess a fee. When you print the return and you get the invoice, if it looks too high, you can always adjust the fees, ladies.
Right. You can override.
But it'll help you when you are in the moment and you're working, processing. It will really help you, and you don't have to think like, what should I charge her? And then you just charge anything. And then when you add up your receipts for the day, you're like, dang, I should have charged her this amount. I did all this. You know what I'm saying? So just put the numbers in there. Don't change. Be the same across. Other fees you guys want to make sure you charge for are reprints. Charge for reprints, because people don't like to go to the storage facility, or they don't want to go in their file cabinets and look for the tax return that you gave them. So always communicate. It is your responsibility to maintain a copy of your return. Should we need to give you a duplicate copy, there is a fee. Make the fee $75, $90. Make it where it hurts. Those that really need it will pay it. Those that don't, they'll think about the fact that they caught you, and they'll go figure out where the return is. They'll find it, even if they have to rumble through some stuff. Okay, serious biz. All right, ladies, have a beautiful week. I will see you guys next week. Make sure you are making progress along the way. I have not seen anybody's BAM lead magnet out there. So if you haven't, make sure it's ready to go November 1st so that you're getting some leads in. Okay.
Well, is that something I missed, Dr.
So
Cosette?
you'll get it on the way. Yep. You did. You'll have to wait till we get back around to it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm with my sister. If you want to give me a call after we're done, you could call my cell phone if you want to chat with her for 5 minutes or whatever.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do have your numbers. Where's my phone? Okay. Oh, about the real estate?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will do that.
Okay.
All right, ladies. Have a beautiful
Good night.
evening.
Good night,
Okay.
everybody. Have a good week.
Good night.
Okay.
Okay.